Before you submit your app for publication, you should read our user guides, you should read the documentation about submission, which assets you need, because this step of the process, you'll need your signed widget, you'll need your graphical assets, so screenshots, icons, you need to think about your metadata such as keywords, the description of the app, and if you choose to sell your app in a number of markets, you may wish to translate some of these things into different languages and indeed have screenshots that are suited for the market in which you'd like to publish. Okay, so the first screen that you'll come to in the publishing process is where you need to upload your actual app. The reason that we get you to upload your app at the beginning rather than the end is so that we can run some checks on it in real time. So when you submit your app, we'll check that it's signed correctly, the publish ID is correct, and if there are any problems, we'll let you know with prompting on the screen. So we're going to go and browse for that widget file right now. We now need to click upload. At this point, the widget's being verified, and you can check that it's okay because you'll see a small tick box appear. That confirms that the widget's been properly signed and that the widget has a valid developer ID. The next thing to do is to create what's called the marketing title. This is the title that will be shown to a subscriber who accesses a mobile phone web shop or phone-based shop. So this particular app we've got is actually called Spin the Bottle, so I'm going to give it that title. If you plan to sell your app in a number of markets, you have the option later to customize the title on a per market basis. We now just need to scroll down a little bit and click on Save and Continue. So this has now created a record in our database and you're on your way to publishing your app. So we're now on step 2. There's a number of fields that we ask you to enter here, and the purpose of these fields is to pass them across to the App Store, the mobile phone operator App Store, and these will be shown to subscribers. So what you type in here will directly be seen by your subscribers. So this should be a long description of the app that allows the target audience, subscriber if you like, to understand what it is they're actually buying. So if you make any mistakes at any point, we can always edit it later. So it's important to get this right because subscribers will see it, but if you have made some errors or you detect some errors later on in the process or even after your app's been published, you can always come back in here and change these at any time. So the short marketing description is also used by some stores when subscribers do a search for apps in the items listing that they're shown. The short marketing description will often be used, and when a subscriber clicks through to the full app description, they'll see the long description. So here we're going to type in a great party game. So the version description is to explain to a user what's in the version. So this is going to be the first version, but you may later on have a better one with more features, and this is where you can say this is version 2 where we've fixed some various bugs, or we can say we've added a new screen or some more help, something like that. So we're going to say first version here. Scroll down a little bit. So the primary language is the language of your app. This is important to let your target audience know in which language your app is before they download it. So there's a drop-down menu here, and we're going to select English. Okay, so we now need to decide which category your app should go. So clearly, Spin the Bottle is a game, so we've selected game here from the drop-down list, and then you can put it into what's known as a subcategory. Some operator stores use them, some don't, and we're going to put this one under the board game subcategory. So you can actually select up to 3 main categories, and each of those main categories can have a subcategory. You've also got the option to add tags. So in this case, let's say that Spin the Bottle is maybe a pub game or pub quiz, so you can have the word pub in there. You then click on the plus button here, and it's simply added as an item. You can have up to 10 tags if you like. So these are the search terms that have been put in there. Again, you can remove them, you can change them any time, but this is where we'll go for the moment. With all content, it's very important that we accurately classify what it is. This is used to allow an operator to show or not show apps to children or to the right category. So, for example, apps that contain alcohol may be not shown to children. In this case, it's just a novelty game, so we need to pick novelty games here. Now we're going to define what's called the device class. This is letting the mobile shop know which sort of phones your app will run on. Not all apps will run on all phones. As a developer, you'll be well aware of this, and also you may not want your app to be available for all phones. So this is where you have the opportunity to say the app can run on devices with just high resolution screens or just low resolution screens, or only on touch devices or ones with keypads. Of course, you can select all of these if you like. If you've built an app which will run on all of them, you can certainly select. So we're going to say that our Spin the Bottle game is high resolution device. It's definitely going to be touchscreen, but you can also use the keypad. The runtime is relating to the operating system of the phone. So in this case, we've built a WAC, say 1.0 app, which will run on the Android platform with the correct runtime installed. So we'll click on Android. The traffic estimation is to allow the subscriber to understand how much network traffic your app will generate. This is very important because if you've built an app that does a lot of streaming, for example, it's going to get through the data very quickly, and a subscriber may choose not to use this while they're roaming when the data rates are very high. So this is just a guide. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It's your best guess as to what the app will generate. So Spin the Bottle actually is just a completely handset resident app and doesn't generate any traffic at all, so we would select none for that. Now, terms and conditions are always very important. If you've written, for example, a banking app, it may have special T's and C's that the subscriber must be aware of before they buy the app and use it. This is the opportunity for you to enter the URL where those T's and C's may be stored. So here we can have any terms and conditions relating to Spin the Bottle app. I don't suspect there would be any terms and conditions with this particular app, but obviously if you're writing apps that have banking details or share trading or anything like that, there may be some specifics. If you don't have a URL for special terms and conditions, you can actually just enter it straight in here, and this will be shown to the customer subscriber before they've bought the app. There's also a field to enter a support email address. If a subscriber has any issues or questions with the app that you've developed, that they've bought, this is how they get in contact with you. So I'm going to put support@greatapps.com. And once again, if you prefer, if you have a website with support capabilities, you can put a URL in there. But for the time being, we'll leave that blank. It's an optional field. Okay, so with any app, what's going to sell it are the graphics. You can write certainly a description that will describe it nicely, but in the world of mobile apps, graphics are everything. And this is your opportunity to produce some really stunning icons, marketing material, or in-app screenshots. So there are a couple of items we collect here. There's the marketing image, which is this area here, supplemental icon, and a screenshot. Before we upload those, I should explain a few things. First of all, where are they used in the shop? So the marketing image is the sort of image that would be seen in a promotional banner. The icon is generally a square item that will appear in lists of apps, and the screenshots, of course, are on the items details page. So when a subscriber clicks on a particular icon they'd like to purchase, they can see the in-app screenshots. There's all sorts of guidelines associated with them, and we have a document that describes that in detail, but you'll see on the right there's some guidance here that explains what sort of resolutions and pixel sizes you should aim to have your graphics. So just like when you upload the app, you need to browse for it, and we're going to upload some of those now. And as if by magic, in good Blue Peter style, we've now got all of our images uploaded, and there are no errors at all. If there are any problems with them, you'd have an on-screen message, so everything's good. You've got the option to have up to 6 screenshots, but a minimum of 3. And you can also add a promotional video if you like, but that's optional, so we're not going to do that right now. So if it's all looking good, we click on Save and Continue. So we've now uploaded our app. We've uploaded all the metadata and images, graphics, keywords. We now need to decide in which markets we would like to sell our app. The system's pre-selected everything for us, but actually this app is just suitable for the UK and for Verizon, because as we said in the previous step, this app's just in English, and those are the 2 markets that speak English. So we're going to untick everybody except for Verizon Wireless and Vodafone UK. So you'll see that because we've got 2 operators selected, we've got 2 tabs here. There's Vodafone UK on the one hand and Verizon Wireless. And then you can see we're actually asking you again for items like the marketing title, long description, short description. If you leave these blank, which is completely acceptable, then the values you'd already typed in the previous screen will be used for the descriptions here. But we do allow the opportunity to customize it on a per market basis. There's good reason for this. If you're selling your app in countries that don't all speak English, so say Spain, Greece, Portugal, then your descriptions and titles will no doubt be different. Every aspect of the app can be localized, so you can have different marketing images for each market, you can have different T's and C's for each market. So it's a very flexible system which doesn't force you to take this approach, but gives you the option to if you like. There's a very important field here called the preferred release date. This gives you the opportunity to upload an app and have it ready to go, but say you'd only like it released from the 1st of next month or something like that. Now, it would also be on this screen where you would set your price, but in this case, this is a free app, we want to give it away, so we're not going to select the option to select the price. If you did, you select the drop-down menu item and you get the option to choose the price points on a per market basis. So it could be free in the UK, but 99 cents in the US. So it all looks good. We haven't actually changed anything, but we can click on Save Vodafone UK. And now we can move on to Verizon Wireless. Now you'll notice that we've got this prompt up here saying, I have read the terms and conditions for Verizon Wireless. And actually there's an exclamation, there's a mark here, a stop symbol saying, actually you haven't read them. So the reason for this is because I've never published an app to Verizon, I haven't actually read the T's and C's, and to do so I must accept them. So I can click on here, I can read them, and assuming that I accept, so I scroll to the bottom, I tick the tick box. So we've now read the T's and C's for Verizon, we've got a tick box, so we're good to go. But let's decide we'd like to modify the description, the long description for Spin the Bottle game, to use the word bar instead of pub. So I've already pre-prepared this text, so it's called Spin the Bottle bar version. So this will now be applied just to the US market, with Vodafone UK taking the original long description. So again, we scroll to the bottom, click on Save Verizon Wireless, click Save and Continue, and all of the marketing details have now been submitted. So the last page is just the submission to confirm everything's okay. So we've got an app. It's actually a free app, so the fact that the bank verification status is pending is irrelevant. If you would like to charge for apps, you need to have submitted your bank details so we know how to pay you. I haven't submitted my bank details, that's why that's pending. But since it's a free app, we don't have any problems. So we're publishing to Verizon Wireless USA, Vodafone UK, everything's fine, happy with that, we can click submit, and we're on our way.